Hello, welcome to our Rainforest Ranger room here at Hunstanton Sea Life Centre. Here in this room we have lots of reptiles and invertebrates, and the majority of the reptiles in here at one stage in their lives used to be someone's pet. The reptile trade in pets is a really big business, but unfortunately sometimes people take on a pet reptile before they're properly prepared for it and before they've done enough research. So we get our pets from the RSPCA that were taken from families who could no longer look after them, or their families had chosen to give them up because they were too much hard work. And the problem with reptiles is that they have very specific needs, so all of their vivariums need to be a certain temperature and a certain humidity, and they have a very precise diet as well. And if you're unable to give them these things, then they can suffer from health problems, and sometimes they can be very hard to look after. They also have a very long lifespan. So for example, Max, who is our Bosque monitor here, he can live for up to 30 to 40 years. So that's a really big commitment for a pet. They live much longer than dogs and cats and your standard pets. So that's another problem that people encounter. So here we can look after them, and they have specialist care that they receive, and they can live out the rest of their lives here in comfort. So a lot of the pets that come into our care in the Rainforest Ranger room are snakes, like this one, which is a royal python called Banoffee. And the reason that snakes are often given up for adoption is because they live for a long time and they're quite hard work. And sometimes if people don't handle them correctly, they can get bitten, and then it means they're frightened of their snake, so then they give them away. So we have quite a variety of species of snakes here, including this one. None of our snakes here are venomous. Instead, they're what we call constrictors, which means they squeeze their prey instead of injecting venom into them. They have an incredibly good sense of smell. So as you can see, this one is sticking its tongue out, and that's using its tongue to smell the air. So they don't smell with nostrils like us, instead they taste the air with their tongue. And the tongue is forked so that the smell is directional, so they can tell if the smell is coming from the left and the right. That means that they can hunt in the dark, and pythons are ambush predators, so they wait hidden in the undergrowth for something to walk past, like a rat or a mouse or even a small bird, before they strike. This is Saunders, and she's a bearded dragon who used to be somebody's pet, and now she lives with us. Bearded dragons normally live in the wild in Australia, and they're a desert creature. And as you can see, her scales would make her blend in perfectly with sand and rocks. When they are hunting in the desert, they don't need very much water at all. They like it nice and dry. And they hunt mostly things like insects. And a clever way of attracting insects to an area where they live that doesn't have many bugs is to do a great big poo to attract all the flies, and then they eat the flies. Bearded dragons get their name because when they feel threatened by a predator, or perhaps by another bearded dragon, then they will push out the muscles under their neck and make all the spikes turn a very dark colour, and it makes it look like they're wearing a big beard, and that makes them look scary towards anything that might be trying to eat them. They've also got lots of little spikes running down their bodies, and they can blow themselves up and make themselves look big and inedible to put off any predators that might be trying to eat them. So if you have any questions about our snakes or our lizards here in our rainforest room, then do just grab any member of staff and ask lots of questions.